Welcome back, dear friend. It is so good to see you again, here in this quiet place, where time slows down, where worries fade away, where stories flow like gentle rivers, carrying the imagination softly, endlessly, into deeper rest. You are here now, in this moment, and that is enough. You have given yourself this time, this sanctuary, this gentle gift to simply listen, to simply breathe, to simply let the mind drift as I tell you a story. Tonight, our story is vast. It is older than anything you have ever known, older than mountains, older than oceans, older even than life itself. It is the story of Earth, the story of our home, from its fiery beginning to the life that covers it today. And yet, though it is the grandest of stories, we will move through it slowly, carefully, like walking barefoot across a field at night, the grass cool, the stars above endless. Each step is gentle, steady, and unhurried. So take a moment, dear friend, to make yourself comfortable. Allow your body to rest where it is, your hands resting easily, your breath moving in and out, calm and effortless. As I speak, you may feel the muscles of your face softening, the heaviness of the day slipping away, as if melting into the air around you. You may notice the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall, slow and steady, like the ocean's tide. Each word you hear is like a wave arriving, touching the shore, then retreating again, leaving the sand smooth and still. And in this calmness, let us set sail on the longest story, the deepest story, the story of Earth itself. We will not rush, because Earth's story is not one of rushing. It is a story written in stone, in layers of mountains, in the quiet of ancient seas, in the dance of continents across unimaginable spans of time. To hear it is to be reminded of how small we are, and yet how wondrously connected, how beautifully held within this great unfolding journey. Imagine, if you will, darkness, not the darkness of night, not the darkness of closing your eyes, but a deeper darkness, the kind that existed before there was light, before there was even a world to hold the light. Picture yourself floating in this vastness, where time has not yet begun to feel like time, where matter itself has not yet found its place. This is where Earth's story begins, in silence, in stillness, in the infinite womb of the universe. As we tell this story, dear friend, you may find yourself drifting in and out of attention, and that is perfectly fine. The mind does not need to hold on to every detail. It can simply rest, letting the words wash over it. Some moments will catch your attention, others will blur into dream, and both are welcome, for this is not only a story of knowledge, but a lullaby of memory, a meditation on time itself. And so, let me guide you. Over the coming chapters, we will pass through fire and stone, through oceans and skies, through ages of silence and ages of life. We will stand with the first mountains. We will swim with the first fish. We will watch forests grow. And we will witness the long reign of the dinosaurs, before finally arriving at the rise of humanity here and now, in this fleeting present. Each chapter is like a dream, unfolding slowly, carrying us further along the river of time. But before we step forward, let us linger here, in the introduction, just a little longer, this is your time to prepare, to relax, to settle into the rhythm of the story. Notice how your breath feels deeper now, softer, as if your body has already begun to sync itself with the great breathing of Earth itself, the slow inhale and exhale of oceans, of winds, of seasons. The planet breathes in its own way over spans of millions of years, and tonight you are breathing along with it. If you listen closely, you may imagine hearing it, the heartbeat of the earth, the soft vibration deep within, pulsing like a lullaby, beneath mountains, beneath seas, beneath your very feet. That heartbeat has been there since the beginning, since the first stone formed, since the first drop of water fell. It has carried all of life forward, from the smallest cell to you, here, listening now. And so, dear friend, we begin. We begin with nothingness, with silence, with darkness. And from that silence, we will watch the birth of a world. We will watch as dust gathers, as fire ignites, as a planet comes alive. We will walk through billions of years, but we will do so slowly, gently, never in a hurry, because there is no hurry. The earth has waited billions of years for you to hear its story. And tonight, in the quiet of your own resting space, you will finally listen. Let go now. Let go of the day. Let go of thought. Let go of everything but the soft sound of my voice. The earth is waiting for us, dear friend. Let us step into its first chapter together and watch as a planet is born. The birth of a planet. Imagine, dear friend, the universe as it was over 4.5 billion years ago. The cosmos was not empty, though it seemed vast beyond imagination. The sun had only just been born, a young glowing star, brilliant and fierce, radiating light into the surrounding cloud of dust and gas. It was still unstable, still pulsing and changing, still growing into the steady golden star we know today. Around it swirled a vast disk, a swirling halo of material, drifting and colliding, breaking apart and coming together again. This was the solar nebula, the cradle of planets, the great nursery of worlds. And within this nursery, the seeds of Earth were waiting. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself floating there in that endless expanse of dust and gas. There is no earth beneath your feet, no ground to stand on, no ocean to float across. There is only the light of the young sun ahead, burning white and golden, its light scattering across the particles that drift like tiny glimmering motes of powder. They swirl and dance in spirals, pulled by gravity, colliding gently, then more firmly, clumping together into larger pieces. These are the first whispers of a planet, the first grains of a world that would one day hold oceans, forests, and life. At first, these grains were smaller than sand, invisible in the vastness, but as millions of years passed, they collided and stuck, like snowflakes gathering into a snowball. Piece by piece, they grew, from dust into pebbles, from pebbles into stones, from stones into mountain-sized bodies. Gravity was their glue, pulling each new fragment closer, pressing them tighter, building something larger, stronger, heavier, and as this gathering continued, the temperature began to rise. Each collision released heat, Each fragment carried energy, and as more material joined together, the heat inside grew more intense. The young Earth became a molten sphere, glowing red hot, its surface a restless ocean of fire and stone. Imagine it, if you will, a glowing ember adrift in the great dark of space, swirling with rivers of lava, its surface alive with explosions, eruptions, and waves of molten rock. There was no water here yet, no atmosphere, no gentle skies, only fire, only heat, only chaos. Yet even in this chaos, the earth was being born, shaped by forces far beyond imagination. As the young planet grew, heavier materials sank downward toward the core, while lighter materials floated toward the surface. This was the first great separation. The sorting of Earth's body, iron and nickel sank deep within, forming a glowing heart, a molten core that still beats within the Earth today. Above it, lighter silicates and minerals formed the mantle, while the thinnest layers cooled into the first crust, fragile and temporary, constantly broken by eruptions and impacts. And then came the bombardment. In these early times, the newborn Earth was far from alone. All around it, other planetary bodies were forming, some larger, some smaller, some destined to be destroyed. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth was struck again and again by asteroids, comets, and protoplanets. Each collision reshaped its surface, melted its crust, and released unimaginable energy. Entire regions were vaporized. Oceans of lava spread across the globe, and for long stretches of time, the planet was unrecognizable, more scarred and broken than whole. Among these impacts, one collision stands apart. About 4.5 billion years ago, a Mars-sized body, sometimes called Theia, collided with the young Earth. The impact was catastrophic, beyond anything we can truly imagine. The force was so great that much of Earth's outer layer was thrown into orbit, scattered into a fiery ring of molten rock circling the planet. For a time, Earth itself seemed torn apart, broken into pieces, its form uncertain. But from this destruction, something miraculous was born. The fragments circling Earth began to gather, pulled together by gravity, slowly coalescing into a sphere. Over millions of years, these fragments became the moon, our constant companion in the sky. Born of violence, it has circled Earth ever since, guiding tides, shaping rhythms of life, a silent witness to all that would follow. And so, Earth had a moon. The chaos continued, but now there was a partner, a twin in orbit, forever tied by gravity. Imagine, dear friend, standing at the edge of that young Earth. If such a place could be imagined, you would see a sky filled with fiery streaks, asteroids burning as they struck the molten surface. The air would be thick with vaporized rock and gas, glowing with heat. Above, the moon, much closer than it is now, would loom enormous in the sky, a glowing orb still forming, its surface scarred by the same constant bombardment. The planet beneath your feet would be alive with sound and fury, lava erupting in fountains, mountains collapsing into molten seas, craters forming in flashes of brilliance. And yet, amidst all this fire, the earth was becoming itself. Its shape was steadying. Its core was solidifying, its crust was beginning to cool in places, and its gravity was holding strong. Out of fire, a foundation was being made. Over time, long, unimaginable stretches of time, the impacts grew fewer. The young sun settled into a steadier rhythm, burning with warmth instead of chaos. Earth, still glowing, began to cool. The outer layers hardened, forming new crusts, only to be broken again and again by eruptions, by quakes, by the restless energy within. Volcanoes dominated the surface, spewing gases into the sky, creating the first atmosphere. It was not the air we breathe today. It was heavy with carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, and water vapor, thick, choking, and hot. But it was a beginning, the first thin veil that wrapped around the earth, and slowly, ever so slowly, as the surface cooled further, water vapor condensed into clouds. Rain began to fall, hissing as it touched the hot surface, evaporating, rising, again, falling again. For centuries, for millennia, it rained until the low places filled, until the first oceans spread across the scarred land. The fire world softened. The molten seas gave way to water seas. And though the skies were still harsh, the earth had entered a new chapter. Pause here for a moment, dear friend, and breathe. Imagine those first oceans, dark and vast, stretching across the young earth. Imagine the steam rising in great pillars into the sky, the waves crashing against barren rock, the first storms rolling across the planet. The earth was still wild, still dangerous, but now it held water, the element that would one day cradle life. It is strange, isn't it, to think of our home in this way, not as the blue and green jewel we know, but as a fiery sphere, then a water-covered world beneath strange skies. To remember that before there were trees or animals or even the simplest microbes, there was this fiery birth. Every stone you have ever touched, every ocean you have ever seen, every breath of air you have ever taken traces its history back to this beginning. The earth was young then, yet already ancient. It was fragile, yet indestructible. It was empty, yet full of promise. And though no eye had yet seen it, though no mind had yet imagined it, earth had been born, a world of fire and stone, tempered by water, crowned with a moon, ready to begin its long journey into the history of life. The heavy bombardment. Close your eyes, dear friend, and imagine the silence of space. Imagine looking down upon the young earth, still glowing with heat, its crust thin, restless, fragile. Around it, space is not empty, not still, but filled with drifting fragments, asteroids, comets, shards of stone and ice, leftovers from the birth of the solar system. They move in endless orbits, colliding, breaking, joining again, each one pulled and tossed by gravity. And Earth, young and fragile, is in the middle of it all. For hundreds of millions of years after its birth, Earth endured a ceaseless storm of impacts. Scientists call this time the Late Heavy Bombardment, a poetic name for an age of fire and fury. Imagine it, dear friend, not as a single night of falling stars, not even as 1,000 storms, but as hundreds of millions of years of collision after collision, day after day, decade after decade, for longer than humanity can even comprehend. The Earth was struck again and again. Each impact was a world-ending event, if there had been a world to end. Some were small, the size of hills, crashing with enough force to melt stone. Others were mountains, slamming into the crust, carving craters that swallowed oceans, vaporizing a rock into glowing clouds. And still others were larger still, rivaling small planets, striking with the power to reshape continents before continents even existed. Imagine standing on the young Earth, if such a thing could have been possible. The ground beneath you would shake endlessly, torn apart by one impact after another. The skies would never clear, always filled with smoke and dust and fire. Sometimes entire seas of molten rock would spread across the planet again, undoing millions of years of cooling. The air would thicken with ash, the light of the sun hidden behind veils of vaporized stone. To look upward would be to see streaks of fire falling from the heavens, thousands at once, each one a glowing trail ending in an explosion that shook the earth to its core. And yet, dear friend, though this sounds like destruction, it was also creation. Each impact brought not only chaos, but gifts. Some carried water, frozen ice, delivered from the far reaches of the solar system. Others carried carbon, nitrogen, and other building blocks of life. Slowly, steadily, as the Earth endured these endless collisions, it was also being enriched. The oceans deepened, the skies thickened with gases, the crust gained new minerals. What seemed like endless punishment was, in truth, preparation. It is humbling to think that the water we drink today, the rivers and seas and gentle rain, may once have fallen to earth in the form of icy comets, striking with unimaginable force, that the carbon in our bodies, the nitrogen in our breath, the elements of life itself, were delivered in fire from the heavens. Life, though not yet begun, was being seeded in these violent gifts. And above it all, the moon kept watch, still young, still close. The moon itself was scarred by the same bombardment. Even now, when you look at the moon's face, those ancient craters are visible. They are the scars of that same age, reminders of the fury that once fell upon both worlds. The moon remembers what the earth has long since erased, for Earth's surface has shifted and healed, while the moon's stillness keeps its memories forever. Let us linger here, dear friend, and slow down. Picture the earth, glowing with each impact, its surface shuddering, oceans boiling, mountains rising and falling. Picture the comets striking, their icy bodies melting into steam, leaving behind water that gathered in the low places, drop by drop, storm by storm. Picture the gases released, swirling into the atmosphere, thick and heavy, trapping heat, protecting the surface. In this chaos, the earth was building itself into a home. It is easy to think of this bombardment as violent, frightening, unbearable. And yet, when we view it from this great distance of time, it becomes something else. It becomes part of a rhythm, part of the great unfolding of the universe. The collisions were like the pounding of a drum, steady and relentless, shaping the Earth into what it needed to become. Without them, there might have been no water, no atmosphere, no life. The violence was a kind of care, harsh but necessary, like fire refining metal. Take a breath now, and imagine the sound of it, the endless thunder of impacts, the deep rumble of stone upon stone. Hear it soften into a rhythm, a pattern, like waves breaking upon a shore. For in truth, that is what it was, a cosmic tide, crashing again and again upon the shores of a young planet, shaping it, carving it, preparing it for all that would follow. As time passed, the impacts grew fewer, slowly, over hundreds of millions of years. The storm began to calm. Earth's surface cooled again. Its crust thickened. Its oceans deepened. The skies cleared for longer and longer stretches, though still filled with volcanic smoke and lightning storms. The sun shone more steadily, its warmth spreading across the battered world. The age of bombardment was fading, and something quieter, something gentler was beginning. Imagine, dear friend, the earth at the end of this time, its surface still scarred and raw, but cooler now, more stable, its oceans stretching wider, darker, deeper, its skies clearing enough that light could shine through, casting reflections upon the water. The moon, scarred and cratered, circling faithfully above. The chaos had passed, and in its place, a fragile peace was forming. The earth had survived. It had endured fire and fury, impacts that could have shattered it, storms that could have undone it. And yet here it was, whole, richer, stronger, carrying within it all the ingredients of life. This was the gift of the heavy bombardment. Out of chaos came possibility. Out of destruction came the seeds of creation. Earth had been tested, broken, reforged, and prepared. It was no longer just a molten sphere of rock. It was a planet with oceans, with skies, with a moon to guide its tides, with the elements of life waiting in its soil and sea. The stage was set, the world was ready, and soon, within its oceans, something small, something invisible, something miraculous would awaken. The first oceans. Close your eyes, dear friend, and imagine the surface of the young earth after the bombardment had begun to calm. The ground is still scarred, still raw, still trembling with the heat of volcanoes, but something new is happening. The clouds above are thick, heavy, swollen with vapor. They swirl endlessly, gray upon gray, their bellies full of water. Lightning flashes within them. Thunder rolls across the barren land. And then, at last, it begins to fall. Rain. Imagine it. The first drops of rain on earth. They strike the hot surface and hiss into steam, vanishing almost instantly. But the clouds do not stop. They pour and pour, torrents of water falling from the skies. For centuries, for millennia, it rains. Day after day, night after night, storms rolling endlessly across the globe. The ground smokes and sizzles. Whole rivers of steam rise back into the sky, but the water keeps falling, filling the low places, cooling the crust, gathering into pools that grow wider, deeper, stronger, and then, at last, the first oceans are born. Pause here, dear friend, and let yourself imagine the sound, the hiss of rain on stone, the rolling crash of thunder, the endless rhythm of water falling upon a world that had known only fire. Let the sound surround you, a lullaby of storms, a symphony of creation. Can you feel how soothing it is after so much chaos? The earth is exhaling now, cooling, softening, welcoming the embrace of water. At first, the oceans are dark and heavy, churning with minerals washed from the rocks, steaming with heat. They are not the blue, sparkling waters we know today, but thick, cloudy seas, filled with the chemistry of creation. Yet they spread wider and wider, filling valleys, carving new shapes into the land, flowing together into a great global expanse. From space, for the first time, Earth gleams with the deep sheen of water, a jewel of oceans circling the young sun. The first oceans are more than water, more than storms, more than waves. They are a cradle. They are the soft bed in which life itself will stir. Within these seas, lightning flashes, stirring molecules into chains, gases dissolve and mix. Heat rises from deep volcanic vents, creating strange environments rich in energy. Chemistry dances in these waters, simple at first, but building, layer upon layer, like the foundation of a song that has not yet found its melody. And so, the oceans wait. They wait with patience beyond time. Picture them, dear friend. Imagine standing upon a rocky shore 4 billion years ago. The sky above is still thick, painted in shades of gray and red, heavy with clouds. The moon looms enormous, closer than it is today, pulling at the waters, guiding the first tides. The ocean before you is dark, restless, boiling in places where magma rises beneath it, calm in others where rain cools its surface. There is no life here yet, no fish, no birds, no plants, only water and stone and storm. And yet, in this stillness, in this vast emptiness, the potential for everything is present. Now let your mind drift into those waters. Imagine diving beneath their surface, sinking slowly into their warmth. Around you, the water is thick with minerals, with gases, with particles that swirl like dust motes in sunlight. There are no creatures yet, but there is movement, currents swirling, bubbles rising, heat radiating from the seafloor. Down below, in the cracks of the Earth's crust, hydrothermal vents roar with energy, releasing hot, mineral-rich water into the ocean. Clouds of iron and sulfur spread like smoke, creating strange, shimmering chimneys on the seafloor. It is here, in places like these, that life's first whispers may one day emerge. But for now, the oceans simply are. They stretch across the globe, rising and falling with the moon's pull, storms rolling across their surface, lightning flashing above. They are young, wild, untamed. They have no memory yet, no history yet, only potential. They are the blank canvas upon which the story of life will be painted. Pause for a moment and let yourself feel the calm of this. The oceans have always been a source of peace, haven't they? Even now, in our time, when we listen to waves, when we hear the rhythm of tides, something deep within us relaxes, softens, remembers. Perhaps it is because the oceans were our first home. Perhaps it is because within these waters our story truly began. The sound of the sea is the sound of our beginnings, the sound of life stirring in the deep. As the eons pass, the oceans grow more stable. Rain continues to fall. Rivers carve their way into the sea. Minerals dissolve into the water. The skies slowly clear. Sunlight reaches the surface. And for the first time, Earth glimmers with blue. From space, Earth now looks like a water world, wrapped in oceans, clouds swirling above them, the moon pulling their tides. It is beautiful to imagine the first blue Earth, the first shining ocean planet. No life yet, no continents green with forests, but already the seeds are there. The oceans hold within them all that is needed: the water, the minerals, the energy. All that is left is for time to do its work. And time, dear friend, is abundant. The oceans wait for millions upon millions of years, stirred by tides, warmed by sunlight, charged by lightning, mixed by volcanic energy. They are not in a hurry. They never are. The ocean knows patience better than any other force. It moves at its own rhythm, slow and steady, like breath. Take a breath with it now. Inhale as the tide rises. Exhale as the tide falls. Feel the rhythm of the ocean within you, calming, steady, timeless. And as you breathe, imagine how this water, this very water that fell in the first rains, that gathered in the first seas, still exists today. The oceans you know, the rivers, the lakes, the raindrops on your window, they are the same water, endlessly cycling, endlessly returning. Every sip you drink, every wave you hear, is part of this ancient ocean. You carry it within you, in your blood, in your cells, in the salt of your tears. You are, in a very real way, part of the ocean itself, part of this story that began 4 billion years ago, the origins of life. Settle yourself, dear friend, and take a deep, slow breath. Imagine again the young earth, wrapped in oceans, the skies beginning to clear, the moon tugging gently at the tides. The storms are quieter now. The seas stretch wide, shimmering in the pale light of a younger sun. Nothing yet swims within them. Nothing crawls upon the shores. They are still, empty, waiting. And yet, within this stillness, a mystery is unfolding. The first spark of life. Picture yourself floating above the ocean, drifting down through its surface, sinking slowly into its depth. The water is warm, rich with minerals, stirred by volcanic heat and lightning storms above. Molecules drift and mingle here. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, swirling, colliding, breaking apart, joining again. At first, it is nothing more than chemistry, simple and chaotic. But slowly, steadily, patterns begin to form. This is how life begins, dear friend. Not in a single moment, not in a flash, but in countless tiny steps. Molecules join into chains. Chains fold into shapes. Some shapes can copy themselves. Others hold energy. They drift. They fall apart. They join again, endlessly repeated over millions of years. It is trial and error on a scale so vast, so patient, that only the earth itself could sustain it. One idea whispers through the waves. Perhaps life began near the surface, where lightning flashed through stormy skies. striking the oceans again and again. Sparks of energy, like tiny suns, drove simple molecules to combine, to form the building blocks of life: amino acids, nucleotides, lipids. These drifted, gathered, formed droplets, little bubbles that could hold themselves together in these fragile containers. The first experiments in life began. Another idea whispers from deeper still, at the bottom of the ocean. Here, volcanic vents spewed hot, mineral-rich water into the sea, forming strange chimneys of stone. Around them, gradients of heat and chemistry swirled. Rich with energy, molecules gathered here too, joining and splitting, driven by the power of the earth itself. Within these hidden places, safe from the harshness above, the first living systems may have taken shape. We may never know exactly which path was taken, whether life was sparked by lightning under stormy skies, or by volcanic breath in the deep sea, or perhaps by both. But we know this: somewhere, in some quiet corner of those oceans, the first true cell emerged, a tiny bubble, fragile yet strong, carrying within it a spark unlike any that had come before. For the first time, matter had become alive. Imagine this cell, dear friend, smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than the eye could ever see, floating in the ancient ocean. It can copy itself, dividing into 2, then 4, then 8. It feeds on the molecules around it, takes in energy, grows, and divides again. It is simple, humble, and yet it carries within it the seed of everything, of forests and fish, of birds and mammals, of you and me. For millions of years, such cells drifted and multiplied, filling the oceans with their invisible presence. At first, they were fragile, easy to break, vulnerable to chance, but slowly, generation after generation, they became stronger. They learned to store information in long chains of molecules, to pass on their secrets from one cell to the next. They learned to work together, forming colonies, sharing resources. The ocean, once empty, was now alive with countless microscopic lives, invisible but everywhere. Pause here, dear friend, and let yourself feel the wonder of this. The first life on earth was not grand, not loud, not mighty. It was small, quiet, unseen, and yet it was the beginning of everything, all the beauty of life. The forests, the seas, the songs of birds, the laughter of people, all of it traces back to this moment when the first cell stirred in the water and the oceans remembered. For billions of years, these simple forms of life ruled the earth. They were the only living things, and they thrived. They covered rocks, drifted in currents, settled into every corner of the sea. They transformed the chemistry of the planet, releasing gases into the air, shaping the very environment around them. Slowly, carefully, they were preparing the world for what would come next. It is humbling to think that we, with our cities, our technologies, our dreams, are descended from such humble beginnings, that deep within every cell of our bodies, there is still the echo of those first cells, the same chemical patterns, the same ancient secrets carried forward through unbroken chains of life across 4 billion years. You, dear friend, are a living continuation of that first spark, a direct thread that stretches back to the origins of life itself. Breathe deeply now and let that thought sink in. Feel the quiet connection, the continuity. You are not separate from this story. You are this story. And yet, in this time, life was still young, still simple, still fragile. It had no eyes, no voices, no movement beyond the currents. It was a silent ocean of microbes, floating beneath strange skies. But within that silence, potential was gathering. Life was learning, experimenting, growing more complex with every passing age. For now, let us linger with those first cells. Picture them drifting in the ocean, glowing faintly in the light of the young sun, multiplying endlessly, covering the seas with their invisible presence. They have no awareness, no thought, and yet they are the architects of the future. They will give rise to every living thing that follows. And as you drift with them, as you float in the calm waters of this memory, allow yourself to rest. Feel the ocean cradling you, rocking you gently, like a mother holding her child. Feel the slow rhythm of life itself, steady, patient, timeless. The first cells knew nothing of hurry, nothing of worry. They simply existed, breathing, dividing, continuing. Perhaps, dear friend, we can learn from them still. Let go of your own hurry now. Let go of your own worries. Allow yourself to simply exist, to breathe, to rest, to continue. The age of microbes. Welcome back, dear friend. The spark of life has flickered into being. The first cells float in the oceans, fragile but resilient, multiplying, spreading, carrying the potential of all that will come. And now, for more than 2 billion years, these tiny beings will reign supreme. Imagine that. 2 billion years, half the age of Earth itself, ruled entirely by microbes. They are invisible to the eye, yet everywhere, shaping oceans, skies, and stone. They are the true architects of the living world. Close your eyes and picture the ancient Earth at this time. No trees, no flowers, no fish, only oceans stretching vast and endless, broken here and there by volcanic islands, with skies heavy in hues of orange and gray, and within those oceans, countless numbers of tiny, drifting cells. They have no eyes, no limbs, no voices, and yet they thrive. They divide, they multiply, they cluster, they drift. Their reign is not dramatic, not loud. It is quiet, patient, invisible, but it is also absolute. These microbes live in every corner of the ocean. Some float freely in the sunlit shallows, taking in the warmth of light. Others cling to rocks, forming thin, slippery layers that coat the seafloor. Still others cluster around volcanic vents, feeding on the chemicals that rise from the Earth's depths. Life, though simple, is inventive, adapting to every environment the planet provides. Let us wander among them. Imagine yourself shrinking, smaller and smaller, until you're no larger than a single microbe drifting in the sea. Around you, the world is vast and alien. You float in a universe of water, filled with shimmering particles of minerals and gases. You sense warmth and light above, currents carrying you gently from place to place. You divide, you multiply, and so does everything around you. There is no loneliness here, for you are always among countless others. The ocean is alive with your kind. In time, microbes discover something extraordinary. Some of them learn to harness the power of the sun. They develop pigments that can capture light, turning its energy into food. These are the first photosynthesizers, the ancestors of plants, the inventors of a process that will transform the world. At first, their work goes unnoticed. They drift quietly, absorbing sunlight, releasing tiny bubbles of a new gas, oxygen, for millions of years. This oxygen dissolves into the oceans, binding with iron and other elements. The seas turn rusty red as the iron oxidizes, falling to the seafloor in vast deposits. Layer upon layer of iron builds up, forming what we now call banded iron formations, still visible in rocks today. And then, after ages of quiet work, the oceans can hold no more. Oxygen begins to escape into the air. Pause here, dear friend, and imagine that moment, the first breath of oxygen into Earth's skies, a gas we now depend on for every breath, appearing slowly, quietly, because of tiny microbes drifting in the sea. At first, oxygen is a poison to many early forms of life. Countless microbes perish as the atmosphere changes, but others adapt, learning to use oxygen for energy. And with this adaptation comes new power. Cells can grow stronger, more complex, more capable. The stage is being set for the future, though it will still take millions of years to arrive. This time is known as the Great Oxidation Event, one of the most profound shifts in Earth's history. It was not dramatic like a comet strike or a volcanic eruption. It was slow, patient, invisible, carried out by trillions of microscopic beings over eons of time, and yet it changed everything. Without it, the Earth would not have the breathable air we know today. Without it, larger, more complex forms of life could never have evolved. Let yourself drift with this thought, dear friend. The air you breathe at this very moment, the oxygen filling your lungs, is a gift from these ancient microbes. You carry their legacy with every breath, and still, the age of microbes continued. The earth was theirs alone, and they flourished in ways both simple and surprising. Some formed colonies, mats of cells that spread across shallow seas, layered like blankets of life. Over time, these mats built great mounds of stone called stromatolites, some of which can still be seen today in quiet corners of the world, such as the coasts of Australia. Imagine them rising in the shallow waters, strange towers built not by hands, not by tools, but by tiny, patient microbes, layering themselves over centuries. Other microbes formed partnerships, merging with one another in ways that changed life forever. One cell took in another, and instead of destroying it, they began to work together. The smaller cell became a helper, providing energy, while the larger one provided shelter. This was the birth of endosymbiosis, the process that gave rise to complex cells, cells like those in your own body. Within them, the tiny helpers became what we now call mitochondria, the powerhouses of life. Later, other partnerships created chloroplasts, the engines of photosynthesis in plants. Pause again, dear friend, and consider how strange and beautiful this is. That cooperation, not competition, gave rise to complexity. That the very cells in your body, billions of them, each carry within them the remnants of ancient partnerships between microbes. You are, in a way, a living mosaic of ancient unions, an echo of the age when microbes ruled the world. For billions of years, life went no further, no fish, no plants, no animals, only microbes, endlessly dividing, endlessly adapting, endlessly shaping the world around them. To us, it may seem monotonous, even dull, but in truth, this was one of the most creative and important ages of all. It was here that the foundations were laid, the experiments made, the chemistry refined. Without this age of patience, nothing that followed could have existed. And perhaps, dear friend, there is comfort in that even in long stretches of quiet, even in times that seem uneventful, great things are being prepared. That stillness, too, is part of creation. Let yourself rest in that thought. Let it settle over you like a blanket of calm. The microbes were not in a hurry. They simply continued, day after day, age after age, until slowly, quietly, they transformed the world. As the age of microbes drew on, the earth itself was changing too. Continents shifted and grew. Volcanoes reshaped the land. Ice ages swept across the globe. Through it all, the microbes endured. They were resilient, adaptable, eternal. They became the guardians of survival, the masters of endurance, and even now, dear friend, though we often forget, they still rule the earth. They are in the air, in the soil, in the oceans, and within our very bodies. They outnumber us, surround us, sustain us. Without them, life would collapse. The age of microbes never truly ended. It simply expanded, making room for larger, more complex beings, while still holding the foundation of the living world. Take a deep breath and feel that truth. You are never separate from them. You are, in fact, made possible by them. The tiniest lives gave you your breath, your body, your very being. And so, the age of microbes, long and quiet, teaches us patience. It teaches us endurance. It teaches us that greatness often begins invisibly, in places we cannot see, in times we cannot measure. The microbes, in their humble way, prepared the earth for everything that was to come. The snowball, Earth's welcome back, dear friend. The oceans are alive, quietly humming, with microbes, the tiny architects of life. For billions of years, they have endured, multiplied, and shaped the world. But the earth is not yet done with its trials. It is patient, relentless, and full of surprises. At times, it seems to whisper, "Let us see how strong life truly is." And the earth does so in ways both dramatic and beautiful. Imagine, if you will, the skies beginning to darken. The sun, though steady, feels faint, distant, as though its warmth is being blocked. The oceans, once churning gently, begin to cool. The seas retreat, then freeze at the edges, slowly, relentlessly, until ice spreads across the oceans like a silent, white tide. The earth is entering a time known as the snowball Earths. Pause, dear friend, and picture it. The planet becomes a glittering globe of ice and snow. Oceans turn to sheets of frozen water. Mountains are capped with glaciers that reflect sunlight, dazzling and harsh. Even the equatorial regions, once warm and stormy, now wear white coats of ice. The seas are still, locked beneath frozen layers. Storms rage above, whipping snow and ice into the sky. Yet below the ice, life persists. It is hard to imagine, isn't it, how quiet and still the world becomes in this time. The oceans are hidden beneath layers of ice, but currents still flow beneath the frozen surface, gentle and secret. Heat from the Earth's interior keeps some water liquid, creating hidden pockets of warmth where life can survive. In these hidden sanctuaries, microbes cling to existence, patiently enduring the cold, waiting for the thaw that will come millions of years later. The causes of snowball Earth are many. Continental drift shifts land masses, changing the patterns of sunlight absorption. Volcanic activity pumps gases into the atmosphere, yet not enough to warm the planet. The balance of carbon and oxygen shifts slowly, steadily. The Earth chills, as though breathing more slowly, curling in upon itself. Ice spreads, reflecting the faint sunlight, trapping the world in its frozen embrace. Imagine walking on such a frozen landscape, dear friend, if you could survive the cold. The surface crunches beneath your feet, brilliant white under a pale sun. Winds howl across glaciers, carrying snow like fine dust, sculpting the land into sharp, smooth ridges. The seas are invisible beneath sheets of ice, but deep below, pockets of liquid water carry the faint warmth of Earth's core. And within those secret waters, life endures, invisible, resilient, miraculous. The snowball Earths were not a single event, but multiple episodes separated by millions of years. Each time, the Earth seemed to pull the blanket of ice over itself, wrapping the planet in silence. And yet, each time, life persisted. Microbes found niches, adapted, endured. Some formed protective layers, others slowed their metabolism, entering states of dormancy. Life, though fragile, refused to surrender. Pause and breathe, dear friend. Let the stillness of snowball Earth wash over you. Imagine the quiet, the deep, frozen calm. Hear the wind sweeping across glaciers, the faint creak of ice moving, the subtle pulse of water flowing unseen beneath the frozen oceans. There is a rhythm here, slow and hypnotic, a rhythm that matches your own heartbeat as you relax, deeper and deeper. Eventually, as with all things, the ice begins to relent. Volcanic gases accumulate in the atmosphere, building heat slowly over millennia. Carbon dioxide rises, thick and heavy, until the frozen world begins to thaw. Ice cracks, glaciers retreat, oceans widen once again, and the first breaths of warmer air reach the surface. The sun shines more boldly, and the snowball Earth begins to melt. Life, patient and resilient, emerges from its refuges. Imagine witnessing this thaw, dear friend. The ice recedes slowly, revealing black volcanic rock, scarred and barren. Rivers flow again, carving paths through the land. Clouds gather, bringing rain for the first time in millennia. The ocean's surface begins to ripple, tiny pockets of liquid expanding into vast seas. Microbes spill into open water, ready to reclaim the oceans they once ruled. And with them, the earth is reborn, renewed, alive once more. These snowball earths remind us, dear friend, of the patience and resilience required for life. Life does not always flourish under ideal conditions. Sometimes it must endure, hidden and quiet, waiting for the moment when warmth returns, when light breaks through, when opportunity arises. The earth itself teaches endurance, reminding us that even the coldest, darkest moments are temporary, and life, persistent and clever, finds a way. Let your mind drift through these frozen landscapes. Imagine the vast stretches of white, the hidden pockets of warmth beneath the ice. Imagine the tiny microbes, invisible yet unstoppable, continuing their work, slowly transforming the planet with every passing generation. Imagine the thaw, the water returning, the ice retreating, and the oceans opening once again, ready to host more complexity, more life. And through it all, remember, this was preparation. Every freeze, every thaw, every struggle beneath ice strengthened life, teaching it resilience, adaptability, patience. The stage is now ready for something even greater, the rise of multicellular life, the first experiments in complexity that will eventually fill the earth with forests, seas, and creatures of unimaginable variety. The rise of complex cells welcome. Back, dear friend. The oceans have endured fire, storms, and ice. Life has persisted quietly, invisibly, for billions of years. Now, in this vast patience of time, something extraordinary begins. Life learns to become more intricate, more cooperative, more daring. Life begins to weave itself into forms that are no longer single, isolated cells, but intricate communities of interacting parts. This is the rise of complex cells, the first whispers of multicellular organization. Imagine the ocean again. Tiny cells drift through its depths, multiplied countless times, invisible yet omnipresent. Some float freely, absorbing nutrients from the water. Some cling to rocks, forming mats and colonies. Others find themselves inside larger cells, forming partnerships. One cell envelops another, and instead of consuming it entirely, the smaller cell begins to cooperate, sharing energy and resources. This quiet collaboration, invisible yet profound, is the birth of the eukaryotic cell, the first truly complex cell. Pause for a moment, dear friend, and imagine yourself shrinking, drifting alongside these cells. You are surrounded by an endless sea of movement, of tiny forms dividing and multiplying, of membranes folding gently, enclosing life within delicate boundaries. And within one of these cells, you witness a small organelle, later known as the mitochondrion, turning energy, quietly fueling the cell. Another organelle, perhaps a chloroplast in some lineages, captures light, creating energy for the cell to thrive. These early partnerships are profound in their patience and intelligence. They are not conscious, but they are inventive. They solve problems of survival in ways so small, so invisible, yet so elegant that they will echo across billions of years. The first eukaryotic cells, are the blueprint for all future complex life: plants, animals, fungi, and eventually humans. Without these early experiments in cooperation, nothing larger, nothing more intricate could ever exist. And then, over millions of years, cells begin to cooperate on an even larger scale. They form colonies, simple multicellular assemblies. Some cells specialize, taking on distinct roles within the colony. Some protect, some feed, some divide rapidly, others grow slowly. These first divisions of labor are tiny, subtle, and almost invisible, but they are revolutionary. Life is learning not just to survive, but to organize, to structure, to become more than the sum of its parts. Imagine the gentle hum of these early communities in the oceans. A mat of cells drifts with the currents, rising toward sunlight, sinking into darker waters, responding to warmth, light, and chemical gradients. Within the mat, cells exchange nutrients and signals, communicating in chemical whispers. Over generations, patterns emerge, complex structures form, and the first faint outlines of multicellularity take shape. Life is no longer simple. It is branching, experimenting, innovating in slow, patient ways. For millions of years, these multicellular assemblies remain microscopic, hidden, invisible to the eye, yet their significance is enormous. Each tiny division, each specialized function is a step toward all the complexity we see today. The forests, the oceans teeming with fish, the skies filled with birds, the mammals that roam the earth, and you, listening now. During this time, Earth itself continues to change. Continents drift, reshaping oceans and coastlines. Volcanoes rise and fall. Snowball Earths come and go. Oxygen builds in the atmosphere, slowly, steadily, thanks to photosynthesizing microbes. And these eukaryotic cells, quietly, persist through every fluctuation, every shift, every challenge. Their endurance and adaptability are remarkable, a testament to the patience of life itself. Let us linger here, dear friend, imagining the oceans of that time. Light filters through water, soft and golden, dancing on colonies of tiny cells. Currents carry them, swirl them, mix them, expose them to the warmth and nutrients. Lightning above occasionally strikes, adding energy, stirring chemistry. Volcanoes beneath the sea release mineral-rich plumes. Every pulse of energy, every gentle wave, every chemical shift is an opportunity for life to experiment, to grow, to evolve. And then comes a subtle transformation. Some multicellular assemblies begin to develop simple shapes and structures. They are still microscopic, but within their organization, there is a blueprint for complexity. Some cells specialize in movement, some in defense, some in feeding. Within these simple forms, life is practicing the dance of division and cooperation that will one day give rise to tissues, organs, and entire organisms with intricate systems. Take a deep breath now, dear friend, and feel yourself drifting among these cells. Imagine the slow, quiet pulse of life around you, its patience, its persistence, its ingenuity. Life is patient. Life is resilient. Life is beautiful in its subtlety, unfolding in layers and patterns invisible to the human eye, and yet This is the foundation of all that follows. Every tree, every bird, every human being, every heartbeat, every thought traces its roots back to these earliest experiments in complexity over hundreds of millions of years. These early eukaryotic cells become more diverse. Some form simple colonies. Some develop rudimentary ways of movement. Some begin to interact with one another in new ways. The oceans, still filled with microbial life, now carry hints of structures, forms, and patterns that are more organized than ever before. These are the precursors to the first animals, the first plants, the first truly complex life on Earth. And through it all, the Earth continues its slow, patient rhythms. Day turns into night, oceans rise and fall, volcanoes breathe heat, currents carry life silently through the seas. The sun shines, the moon tugs at the tides, and life, ever adaptable, continues to experiment with its own possibilities. Pause once more, dear friend. Let the patience of these early cells sink in. Let the thought that every complex being that has ever lived, every fish, every tree, every insect, every mammal, every human, descends from these tiny, cooperative cells, fill your mind with wonder. Imagine the quiet, tireless creativity of life, invisible yet unstoppable, shaping the world in the depths of ancient oceans. And in this calm reflection, feel your own connection to this vast story. You are not separate from these cells. You carry within you echoes of their structure, their endurance, their quiet genius. Your body is built upon the innovations of these ancient forms, your consciousness enabled by the patient experimentation of life billions of years ago. The rise of complex cells is not just a story of science, dear friend. It is a lullaby of patience, a meditation on resilience, a whisper of wonder that carries us gently forward. Life, once invisible and simple, has begun to explore the possibilities of complexity. It has learned cooperation, division of labor, adaptation, and endurance. And in doing so, it has opened the door to all the beauty and diversity that will one day fill the earth. The Cambrian explosion. Welcome back, dear friend. For billions of years, life has been quiet, microscopic, invisible to the naked eye. Tiny cells have multiplied, learned cooperation, experimented with structure and specialization, enduring ice, storms, and endless patience. And now, finally, the earth is ready for a transformation that will make life visible, tangible, extraordinary. This is the Cambrian explosion, a time when the oceans teem with shapes, colors, and movement for the very first time. Picture the ancient oceans, calm yet restless, warmed by the sun and stirred by gentle currents. Below the surface, life has been experimenting quietly, developing complex cells, colonies, and the earliest multicellular structures. Then, over a relatively short span of millions of years, the pace quickens. Life bursts forth with innovation. Strange new body plans appear. Tiny, armored creatures drift through the water, some with spines, some with shells, some with multiple segments. Each is an experiment in survival, form, and movement. Imagine yourself shrinking again, dear friend, gliding silently through these Cambrian seas. Around you, the water is alive with motion. Trilobites scuttle across the ocean floor. their segmented bodies glinting in the light. Tiny arthropods swim gracefully, undulating fins propelling them forward. Sponges, with their intricate pores, filter water, silently shaping their environment. Jellyfish drift lazily above, bell pulsating, tentacles trailing like delicate ribbons in the current. Every direction you look, something new and strange appears, a form unlike any you have seen before. This was life learning to explore new possibilities. It was life experimenting with symmetry, segmentation, appendages, and protective shells. Eyes appear in some creatures, allowing them to see the world for the first time. Mouths develop, and with them the beginnings of predation, of feeding, strategies that will forever change ecological dynamics. Limbs evolve for crawling, swimming, grasping. Exoskeletons armor the vulnerable. Each innovation is small, incremental, yet together they create an explosion of diversity unparalleled in Earth's history. Pause here, dear friend, and breathe in the wonder of this ocean. Imagine currents carrying thousands of tiny, moving creatures. See how some hide in sediments, some float freely, some dart with sudden speed. Listen to the quiet rhythm of water, the swish of fins and legs, the subtle brushing of bodies against one another. Life is no longer invisible. It is dancing, performing, filling the oceans with endless variation. The Cambrian explosion is remarkable not just for its speed, but for its creativity. Many body plans that appeared during this time have persisted in some form to this very day. Arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, chordates, all begin to make their first appearances. Imagine the first tiny ancestors of crabs, squids, starfish, and even fish gliding through the water. They are small, yes, but their forms are profound, the foundations of entire future ecosystems. Consider the ecological web forming in these oceans. Predators and prey, scavengers and grazers, filter feeders and burrowers, all find niches. Life learns to compete, to cooperate, to move, to hide, to survive. Coral-like structures begin to appear, providing habitat for other creatures. Microbes continue their quiet work in the background, cycling nutrients, maintaining the chemistry of the oceans. Everything is interconnected in a delicate, mesmerizing balance. Imagine drifting past a shallow reef, dear friend. Tiny, armored creatures crawl across the sediment. Soft-bodied worms weave through cracks. Jellyfish pulse above, drifting with the current. All around, light filters through clear water, sparkling on shells, illuminating the subtle colors and textures of this early world. Life has become visible, tangible, and beautiful in ways it never was before. The Cambrian explosion is also a time of innovation and experimentation. Some creatures develop spines for protection, others claws for grabbing prey. Some burrow into the sediment, while others hover above the ocean floor. Eyes evolve multiple times independently, allowing predators to locate prey and prey to evade detection. The oceans are alive with strategy, movement, and adaptation, a living theater of evolution in real time. Take a slow breath now, dear friend. Let the rhythm of these Cambrian seas seep into you. Let your mind drift with the currents, following trilobites across the sediment, watching jellyfish pulse overhead, imagining tiny eyes opening to see the world for the first time. Life is bold, inventive, and unafraid to explore new forms, yet still patient, still steady in its persistent unfolding. This explosion of diversity sets the stage for everything that follows. Soon, life will begin to explore the land, to grow larger, to fill the skies and forests. But for now, the oceans are the center of creation, the theater of life's grand debut. Every movement, every innovation, every experiment matters. Life is learning, shaping, and preparing for the unimaginable richness to come. The Cambrian explosion reminds us, dear friend, of the wonder inherent in creation. From tiny, invisible cells, life has become complex, diverse, and visible. From silent, hidden forms, life has learned to move, to see, to eat, to interact. It has discovered possibilities, pushing boundaries, inventing strategies, adapting to every niche. The oceans hum with life, each pulse a testament to patience, creativity, and resilience. As you imagine drifting through these ancient seas, notice how life is both chaotic and orderly. There is movement and stillness, noise and silence, growth and decay. Everything is interconnected, flowing in cycles that will persist for billions of years. The Cambrian seas are alive in ways we can almost feel, their rhythm echoing deep within our own bodies, reminding us of our connection to the long, patient story of life. Rest here, dear friend, in the vibrant, teeming waters of the Cambrian. Watch the first eyes, the first shells, the first predators and prey. Let the gentle sway of currents lull you, the quiet pulse of billions of tiny creatures carrying you deeper into relaxation. Know that you are part of this story, that your being is woven into the long chain of life that began with single cells and now dances in a myriad of forms around you. The Cambrian explosion is a celebration of life's creativity, patience, and adaptability. It is a time of wonder, of experimentation, of beauty. Let its rhythm, its diversity, and its calm persistence carry you softly toward rest as the oceans of time continue to flow. The colonization of land. Welcome back, dear friend. The oceans have been alive for millions of years, brimming with complex, moving, visible life. Trilobites, early fish, jellyfish, and strange armored creatures have explored currents and sediments, mastering the underwater realm. Yet Earth still holds a secret, a frontier waiting patiently for life to explore. The land. Imagine the Earth from above. Vast oceans stretch endlessly, but between them, islands and continents rise like jagged jewels. The skies swirl with clouds, winds ripple over rocky mountains, and rivers carve pathways toward the seas. Life has existed here before, invisible in the water, but nothing has yet walked, crawled, or rooted itself upon these solid surfaces. And then, slowly, over millions of years, life begins to reach beyond the water. The first pioneers are humble, microscopic, and delicate. Algae, fungi, and bacteria. They creep along damp shores, colonizing wet rocks, moist soils, and riverbanks. They are the first green and black marks on an otherwise bare, rocky world. They feed on minerals, absorb moisture, and slowly begin to transform their environment, softening the land, preparing it for more complex life to follow. Picture, dear friend, walking along the edge of one of these early seas. Stones are slick, with microbial mats, the first shimmer of green upon the gray rocks. A gentle mist from the ocean brushes your skin, and in the quiet, tiny life forms are at work, absorbing nutrients, exchanging chemicals, slowly shaping the land. The earth seems still, silent, yet beneath your feet, a pulse of activity unfolds, invisible but relentless. Then, life becomes bolder. Simple plants begin to take root, tiny moss-like forms holding themselves against the wind and sun. They spread slowly, forming carpets of green across damp areas. Their roots, simple but effective, begin to stabilize soil, trap moisture, and accumulate organic matter. Rocks crumble under their influence, and slowly, the first soils are born. The land, once barren, begins to feel soft, textured, alive, and yet life must also conquer air. Water provides protection, support, and constant moisture. But the dry land is harsh. Sunlight burns, winds blow, and nutrients are scarce. Life experiments. Some algae evolve protective coatings. Some fungi form networks that capture moisture and nutrients. These early innovations are quiet but profound. They are the whispers of adaptation, patience, and ingenuity. Now imagine the first animals leaving the oceans. Tiny arthropods, perhaps ancestors of insects, venture onto shorelines, guided by tides, waves, and the promise of untapped territory. Their bodies are armored to retain moisture. Their limbs adapt to crawling over rock and soil. Slowly, they spread, exploring crevices, leaf litter, and damp surfaces. Each step, each crawl, is a small triumph, a quiet victory for life over harsh conditions. With the plants and fungi transforming the land, these early animals find habitats, food, and shelter. Small forests of mosses and lichens create shade and moisture pockets where tiny creatures can live safely. Rivers and streams, now rich with algae and decaying plant matter, provide sustenance for other colonizers. Life, in its slow, patient way, begins to weave a web upon the land, stretching tendrils, legs, and roots across the once empty terrain. Pause here, dear friend, and breathe. Imagine the quiet rhythm of early terrestrial life. Gentle waves lap against shorelines, winds stir tiny plants, and small animals scuttle over mossy rocks. The earth is alive, but subtle, patient, not yet dramatic. There is no hurry here, only persistence, curiosity, and gradual expansion over millions of years. These pioneers diversify. Plants develop stronger structures, stems and leaves, allowing them to reach towards sunlight. Roots grow deeper, anchoring them more firmly and drawing water and nutrients from the soil. Fungi form symbiotic partnerships with plant roots, exchanging minerals for sugars, a quiet cooperation that will sustain terrestrial life for eons. Animals, too, continue to experiment. Arthropods evolve more sophisticated limbs, sensory organs, and ways to avoid desiccation. Some develop primitive respiratory systems to breathe air, Others burrow into soil or leaf litter, finding cool, humid refuges. The land becomes a laboratory for evolution, testing strategies for survival in a world without water's constant support. Imagine wandering through a Cambrian forest, if such a thing existed in embryonic form. Tiny plants, low to the ground, swayed gently in the wind. Moss carpets, rocks, and soil, retaining moisture. Small insects and arthropods crawl along leaves and stems. Exploring the world above the water, the air carries the faint scent of wet earth, moss, and algae, and the sun warms your skin. Everything is small, quiet, subtle, but alive, dynamic, persistent. Life is also beginning to alter the earth itself. Plants trap carbon dioxide, contributing to climate regulation. Soil builds up, shaping riverbeds and valleys. Early animals move sediments, break down organic matter, and facilitate nutrient cycles. In small, almost invisible ways, life transforms the land, making it more habitable for what will come next. And still, life is cautious. Desiccation, ultraviolet radiation, temperature swings, and predators all test the earliest colonizers. Each generation learns, adapts, survives. Step by step, organism by organism, the land is slowly filled. The ocean remains a refuge, but the land is no longer empty. It has been claimed quietly, persistently, by patient life. Take a deep breath now, dear friend. Feel the rhythm of these early forests, the slow pulse of roots growing, leaves absorbing sunlight, small animals exploring. Let the quiet persistence of life on land seep into your body, carrying a sense of calm, resilience, and wonder. The colonization of land is one of Earth's most beautiful lessons. Patience and innovation can transform harsh environments from mosses, lichens, fungi, and small arthropods. An entire terrestrial world slowly emerges, laying the groundwork for trees, forests, insects, amphibians, and eventually mammals and humans. Rest here for a moment, dear friend. In this quiet, green, growing world, imagine the soft rustle of tiny leaves, the gentle movement of small creatures, the slow, patient work of life, transforming stone into soil, barren ground into home. Feel yourself drifting with the rhythm of earth, connected to the quiet persistence that carries life from oceans to land. The stage is now set for greater complexity, for larger animals, for forests and skies teeming with life. But for now, let us linger with these pioneers. Let us rest in the gentle, quiet triumph of life stepping onto solid ground. The age of fish, welcome back, dear friend. The land is slowly filling with mosses, lichens, fungi, and tiny arthropods. Life has claimed its first steps upon solid ground, but the oceans, vast and ancient, are not finished with their own stories. Beneath the waves, a new chapter of evolution quietly begins. Vertebrates, creatures with a backbone, emerge, swimming through the waters with a strength and purpose unknown to earlier life forms. This is the age of fish. Imagine the oceans once more, deep and shimmering, stirred by currents, warmed by sunlight, and rich with oxygen. The seafloor is alive with trilobites, sponges, and other early creatures, while the waters above shimmer with soft-bodied organisms. And now, among them, the first fish glide silently, small and unassuming, yet revolutionary. Their bodies are supported by a notochord, a flexible backbone that allows movement with precision and grace. Tiny fins flap, propelling them forward in gentle arcs, exploring new parts of their watery world. Picture yourself shrinking to swim alongside them, gliding effortlessly through the clear waters. See how their bodies move in rhythmic undulations, how gills filter oxygen from the water, how eyes scan the surroundings. Life has evolved mobility, a new freedom, and with it, new possibilities. Predation, exploration, and survival take on new dimensions. Some of these early fish are armored, covered with plates for protection against predators. Others are soft-bodied and agile, relying on speed and stealth. Some dwell near the seafloor, navigating coral-like structures and sediment layers. Others venture into open water, exploring the vast expanses above. The oceans are alive with new motion, a ballet of vertebrate life weaving through currents and sunlight. As time passes, fish diversify rapidly, jaws evolve, a subtle but profound change, allowing some to bite, to grasp, to tear. Predators and prey establish delicate balances, shaping ecosystems in ways never seen before. Some fish develop paired fins that enhance maneuverability. Some begin to experiment with body shapes, long, slender, rounded, spiny, each adaptation a response to the environment, each innovation a new possibility for survival. Imagine drifting near a reef-like structure in this early ocean. A small armored fish darts among the rocks, hunting tiny invertebrates. Another fish, faster and lighter, hovers above, scanning the currents. Tiny plankton drift in the sunlit water, feeding and reproducing, forming invisible clouds that sustain countless creatures. The ocean is a theater of life, full of strategy, motion, and quiet complexity. Some fish begin to explore the shallows near early coastal plants, their movements slow and cautious. They navigate around roots and algae mats, adapting to environments that blend water and land. These early experiments with shallow water habitats will eventually set the stage for creatures that can leave the water entirely. But for now, life remains bound to liquid, where buoyancy and oxygen are constant companions. During this time, the oceans themselves are changing. Oxygen levels are rising, thanks to photosynthesizing microbes and early plants. Currents shift with the placement of continents, distributing nutrients and creating new habitats. Volcanoes stir the seafloor, adding minerals to the water, and throughout it all, fish evolve, diversify, and explore, creating intricate food webs and subtle balances between predator and prey, motion and stillness, survival and abundance. Take a slow breath now, dear friend, and imagine the pulse of the oceans. Feel the glide of fish around you, the gentle sway of currents, the soft, refracted light dancing across scales and sand. Let yourself drift with them, carried by the rhythm of fins, water, and time. Some fish begin to develop more specialized features. Lungs emerge in certain lineages, allowing them to breathe air in addition to water. This subtle innovation will one day enable the first vertebrates to explore land, but for now, it is a quiet experiment in flexibility and survival. Eyes, more sophisticated than before, provide sharper vision, while sensory organs detect vibrations in the water, creating an awareness of the world beyond the body. And still, the oceans teem with microcosms of life. Microbes continue to cycle nutrients, sponges filter water, coral-like structures provide shelter, predatory invertebrates patrol the seabed. Fish navigate through this complex environment, their movements both instinctive and adaptive, shaping and being shaped by their surroundings. The age of fish is a time of subtle wonder, quiet experimentation, and astonishing diversity. Life has learned to move with precision, to hunt, to hide, to adapt. It has discovered the potential of a backbone, paired fins, jaws, and gills. It has filled the oceans with motion, strategy, and variety. Imagine yourself drifting near the surface. Sunlight penetrates the water, illuminating the scales of small fish, revealing patterns, textures, and colors that were once unimaginable. The water carries the soft sound of movement, fins brushing, currents swirling, bubbles rising. Life has become visible, tangible, dynamic. Take a deep breath now, dear friend. Feel the rhythm of swimming creatures, the pulse of ancient oceans, the patience and persistence of vertebrate life unfolding slowly, gracefully, across millions of years. Let the gentle motion of fins, the soft glide of water, and the quiet experimentation of life lull you further into calm, hypnotic relaxation. Some lineages will never leave the water. Others will experiment with shallow coastal zones. One day, much later, some fish will develop limbs strong enough to step onto land. But for now, the oceans are alive with vertebrate motion, teeming with unseen strategies, quiet innovations, and endless persistence. The age of fish is a testament to adaptation, experimentation, and patient evolution. The backbone of life, stretching forward in time. Rest here, dear friend, drifting with the currents, swimming alongside the first fish, feeling the rhythm of fins and gills, of movement and water. Life has entered a new phase, vibrant and visible, yet patient, slow, and deliberate. The oceans hold mysteries, experiments, and subtle triumphs, and you are here, part of this story, carried along in its quiet, hypnotic pulse. The age of fish will continue for millions of years, diversifying, adapting, exploring, and preparing for the eventual conquest of land by vertebrates. But for now, let yourself rest in the gentle sway of the ocean, among scales, fins, and currents, feeling the continuity of life, stretching from invisible microbes to swimming vertebrates. The first amphibians, welcome back, dear friend. For millions of years, fish have swum through oceans and rivers, exploring currents, hunting prey, and refining their bodies for motion, vision, and survival. The land, however, has remained largely untouched, quiet, and mysterious. Mosses and lichens, fungi, and tiny arthropods have begun to claim it, softening its surface, creating soil, and building the earliest ecosystems. But now, vertebrates, descendants of ancient fish, begin a quiet, cautious experiment. Stepping onto solid earth, imagine a shallow river, its waters gently flowing over stones and sediments. Along its edges, early plants cling to soil, their roots holding moisture and nutrients. Tiny arthropods scuttle through leaf litter, while algae cling to wet rocks. And here, among them, a fish-like creature pauses. Its fins, sturdy and flexible, press against the wet substrate. It tests the boundaries, moving from water to land, inch by careful inch. This is the first amphibian, a creature bridging two worlds, water and solid earth. Picture yourself shrinking, dear friend, and following this pioneer. Feel the softness of damp soil beneath its body, the wetness of riverbanks clinging to scales and skin. The air smells fresh, faintly earthy, mixed with the scent of moss and algae. Sunlight warms the creature's back, illuminating subtle patterns and textures on its skin. Its gills, once sufficient underwater, now work alongside primitive lungs, allowing it to breathe air. Each movement is deliberate, experimental, yet full of cautious determination. The first amphibians are small, modest, and fragile. Their bodies are adapted for crawling, for clinging to wet surfaces, for balancing between two worlds. Limbs are muscular, yet simple, strong enough to support a body on land, but still reliant on water for moisture and reproduction. Their skin is permeable, sensitive to drying, so they remain close to rivers, ponds, and marshes. Their journey onto land is slow, careful, and hypnotic, a patient exploration of new possibilities. Imagine drifting alongside them as they move over stones, under plants, and through shallow puddles. Tiny eyes scan the environment, sensing both air and water. Gentle movements ripple through their bodies as they adjust to the pull of gravity and the texture of solid ground. Around them, insects and arthropods move in quiet patterns, oblivious to the amphibians' cautious exploration. The land is alive, yet subtle, filled with quiet rhythms and patient growth. The first amphibians are not predators yet in the modern sense. They feed on small invertebrates, insects, and larvae, learning to hunt in a new environment. They also must avoid desiccation, seeking shade, moisture, and shelter during the heat of the day. Every step on land is a lesson in survival, every breath of air a new experience, every encounter with other creatures a subtle experiment in adaptation. Over time, amphibians diversify. Some develop stronger limbs for movement across soil and rocks. Some evolve primitive sensory organs to detect vibrations and air currents. Some expand their lungs, becoming less dependent on water for respiration. But always, water remains essential for reproduction, for hydration, for comfort. Amphibians are creatures of transition, bridging the aquatic past and the terrestrial future. Picture a quiet marsh at dawn, dear friend. Mist rises from shallow pools, dampening the moss-covered soil. Amphibians crawl carefully through reeds and ferns, their limbs pressing into soft earth. Insects buzz faintly in the air. Water ripples gently as the amphibians return occasionally to pools to feed or reproduce. The air is calm, filled with subtle movement and quiet life. This is a world of patient experimentation, of careful exploration, of subtle triumphs. The colonization of land by amphibians sets the stage for greater complexity. With limbs and lungs, creatures can explore beyond rivers and marshes. With sensory adaptations, they detect prey, predators, and mates. With new feeding strategies, they exploit untapped resources, and through every small, deliberate step, they transform the ecosystems they inhabit, influencing plant growth, soil formation, and the behaviors of other organisms. Take a slow, deep breath now, dear friend. Feel the rhythm of the amphibians' movements, the gentle sway of reeds, the quiet rippling of water, the faint rustle of small arthropods. Let your mind drift with a slow, patient exploration of life, bridging two worlds, discovering the possibilities of land and water, air and moisture, shadow and sunlight. The first amphibians are not yet dominant, not yet mighty. They are pioneers, careful, tentative, persistent. They teach us that great exploration begins with small, cautious steps, that transformation requires patience, and that life's greatest achievements often begin quietly in places hidden from sight. As amphibians spread across wetlands and riverbanks, they set the stage for future vertebrates, reptiles, mammals, birds, and ultimately humans. Their bold experiment in leaving water forever changes the possibilities of life. They open the land to movement, breathing, hunting, and adaptation in ways previously unimaginable. Rest now, dear friend, in the gentle sway of marshes, rivers, and shallow ponds. Imagine the patient amphibians slowly, deliberately exploring solid earth, feeling the sun, testing the soil, returning to water, and experimenting with every breath and step. Let their rhythm, their persistence, and their quiet courage lull you into deep calm. The earth is alive, patient, enduring, and full of wonder, and you are a part of this slow, mesmerizing story. The rise of reptiles. Welcome back, dear friend. The first amphibians have ventured from the waters onto land, exploring rivers, marshes, and floodplains. They are pioneers, cautious and persistent, but their dependence on water limits how far they can roam. Yet life, patient and inventive, seeks new possibilities. Over millions of years, a quiet revolution begins. The rise of reptiles, creatures capable of leaving water entirely, breathing air with lungs, and laying eggs that survive on dry land. Imagine a warm, sunlit landscape dotted with ferns, mosses, and primitive trees. The ground is soft from centuries of plant decay and moisture from rivers. Early amphibians move carefully, returning to ponds to reproduce. And here, amid this landscape, the first reptiles emerge. Their skin is tough and scaly, preventing water loss. Their eggs are encased in protective shells, allowing them to survive outside ponds and streams. Life is no longer bound to water. It has gained freedom. Picture yourself shrinking once more, drifting alongside these early reptiles. Feel the warm sunlight on the scaly backs. Hear the faint rustle of leaves and ferns beneath limbs. Sense the soft vibrations of the earth as creatures move with careful, deliberate motion. Each step, each breath is a quiet triumph, a patient experiment in independence. The land, once only partially explored, now becomes a vast playground for vertebrate life. Reptiles diversify slowly yet steadily. Some remain small, hunting insects and arthropods. Others grow larger, developing stronger jaws, sharper teeth, and more powerful limbs. Some explore forests and wetlands, while others venture into drier plains. Their senses sharpen, their behaviors adapt, and their presence begins to reshape ecosystems. With fewer constraints from water, reptiles can migrate, hunt, and reproduce in previously inaccessible regions. Imagine a quiet forest glade at dawn. Sunlight filters through fern fronds, illuminating reptiles as they move with subtle grace. Some bask on rocks, absorbing warmth from metabolism. Others slink through leaf litter, hunting insects. The air is calm, filled with faint scents of vegetation, soil, and moisture. Life on land is dynamic, complex, and patient, a delicate balance of exploration, survival, and adaptation. The development of the amniotic egg is a profound innovation. Encased in a protective membrane and shell, the egg allows embryos to develop safely on land. Life is no longer tied to water for reproduction. Reptiles can lay eggs in soil, under leaves, or within protective crevices, opening vast new habitats. This small, yet extraordinary adaptation sets the stage for entire lineages of terrestrial vertebrates, including dinosaurs, birds, and mammals. Millions of years later, reptiles also develop more efficient lungs, allowing for prolonged activity away from water. Their limbs and muscles strengthen, enabling longer journeys across land. Senses adapt, vision sharpens, hearing becomes more acute, and the sense of smell guides hunting and foraging. Life is learning independence, mobility, and versatility in ways it has never done before. Take a slow, deep breath now, dear friend. Imagine yourself drifting with the reptiles across plains, forests, and wetlands. Feel the warm sunlight on your skin, the soft earth beneath your feet, the gentle sway of leaves in the breeze. Watch as reptiles move with purpose, hunting, resting, and exploring. Let their quiet persistence, adaptability, and patient experimentation wash over you. Some reptiles begin to grow remarkably large. Others remain small, agile, and elusive. They interact with plants, insects, and amphibians, creating new food webs and ecological relationships. Forests become vibrant, complex ecosystems where life moves in subtle rhythms. Predation and survival drive adaptation, yet life retains a patient, enduring quality. The rise of reptiles is a lesson in independence, innovation, and exploration. Life has conquered water, gained freedom on land, and developed tools for survival in harsher environments. It has learned patience, flexibility, and resilience. With each step, each egg, each breath, reptiles shape the earth, slowly transforming ecosystems, influencing plant growth, soil composition, and the movements of other creatures. Imagine a warm, late afternoon in this ancient forest. The sun casts long shadows across mossy ground. A small reptile curls under a fern for shade, while another ventures toward a pond, cautiously navigating terrain. Birds of a much later age will one day trace their ancestry to these explorers. Mammals will follow, and even humans, billions of years later, will walk the lands first colonized by these pioneering reptiles. Rest here, dear friend, in the patient, steady rhythm of reptilian life. Watch the slow, deliberate movements. Feel the warmth of the sun, the texture of soil and vegetation. Let the quiet persistence, careful adaptation, and independence of reptiles soothe and mesmerize you. The earth is alive with new possibilities, patient experimentation, and enduring life. Reptiles have transformed the earth. They are no longer tied to water. They have gained mobility, independence, and resilience. They pave the way for future creatures to explore deserts, forests, mountains, and plains. Their slow, deliberate expansion marks a profound chapter in Earth's story, a chapter of exploration, adaptation, and the patient unfolding of life's potential. Rest now, dear friend, among the ferns, forests, and warm sunlight. Let the rhythm of reptilian life, the quiet sway of forests, and the gentle pulse of Earth's patient unfolding lull you into deep calm and relaxation. Life continues, resilient, inventive, and mesmerizing, carrying you gently forward in the hypnotic story of Earth, the age of dinosaurs. Welcome back, dear friend. The reptiles that first ventured from water now dominate the land. They are patient, adaptable, and relentless in their quiet exploration of Earth's continents. Over millions of years, some lineages evolve into forms enormous and magnificent, creatures that will fill forests, plains, and river valleys with astonishing diversity. This is the age of dinosaurs, a time of grandeur, strength, and hypnotic rhythm. Imagine a vast, sunlit landscape stretching endlessly, dotted with ferns, cycads, and conifers. Rivers wind slowly through floodplains, and volcanoes in the distance release gentle plumes of smoke into the sky. The air is warm and thick with humidity, carrying faint scents of vegetation, soil, and water. And across this ancient world, dinosaurs move, some enormous, some small, all deliberate, all part of a complex, patient, ecological ballet. Picture yourself shrinking, dear friend, and gliding silently among these creatures. A massive sauropod grazes near a river, neck stretching high to reach the tallest leaves. Its enormous tail sways gently behind it, and its massive legs sink slightly into soft earth. Near us, smaller herbivorous dinosaurs move in flocks, nibbling ferns, rustling leaves, and interacting with one another in quiet, social rhythms. Each movement, each breath is slow, deliberate, and mesmerizing. The carnivorous dinosaurs patrol with subtle precision. They do not rush. They observe, plan, and move with a predator's patience. Sharp teeth, strong jaws, and keen senses make them efficient hunters. Yet they are also part of the rhythm of the ecosystem, balanced by the movement of herbivores, the flow of rivers, and the sway of vegetation. Life is interconnected, a complex web of motion, strategy, and adaptation, moving at a slow, hypnotic pace across millions of square miles of Earth. Dinosaurs diversify into countless forms, Some develop massive armored plates for protection. Others gain speed and agility to chase prey or evade predators. Some soar into the skies, evolving into the ancestors of birds. Some remain small and elusive, mastering survival in the shadows of giants. Every adaptation, every body shape, every movement represents a patient experiment in survival and ecological balance. Imagine drifting through a dense forest. Sunlight filters through the towering conifers, illuminating dust motes in the humid air. A herd of hadrosaurs moves gracefully, brushing against ferns, communicating with low, resonant calls. A carnivorous theropod slinks between trees, barely making a sound, eyes alert, muscles coiled for sudden movement. The forest is alive, yet calm, a slow, mesmerizing dance of life, evolution, and survival. The scale of life during this time is breathtaking. Sauropods tower above trees, their massive bodies moving with surprising grace. Stegosaurs, with plated backs and spiked tails, wander slowly across plains. Ornithopods and ceratopsians graze in flocks, creating patterns and rhythms. Across the landscape, life moves with a hypnotic cadence, from the smallest feathered dinosaur to the largest giants that shake the earth with every step. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Feel the rhythm of the landscape, the gentle sway of trees, the rustle of ferns, the slow, deliberate steps of massive creatures. Hear the quiet calls, the soft brushing of tails, the gentle splashes of rivers as dinosaurs drink. Let yourself drift with the hypnotic flow of life, carried by the slow, patient pulse of the age of dinosaurs. Life during this era is also a story of adaptation and innovation. Teeth evolve for cutting, grinding, or crushing. Limbs adapt for running, swimming, or digging. Sensory systems sharpen for detecting predators or prey. Feathers, scales, crests, and horns emerge in a symphony of form and function. Each subtle adaptation, a quiet triumph of evolution over time. The environment shapes the dinosaurs as much as they shape it. Rivers carve valleys, volcanoes sculpt mountains, forests rise and fall, and life adapts. Dinosaurs influence plant growth, dispersal, and ecology. Herbivores trample and fertilize soil. Predators control populations, maintaining balance. Life is interconnected, moving at a hypnotic rhythm, each organism part of an enduring story that stretches across continents and millions of years. Imagine drifting over a river valley at dusk. The sky glows soft orange, reflected in calm waters. Dinosaurs move slowly across the floodplain. Some graze in silence, some hunt with patience, observing the movements of prey. The air is filled with subtle sounds of movement, the soft rustle of leaves, the occasional splash of water. Everything flows in a slow, mesmerizing rhythm, drawing you into calm fascination and quiet reflection. The age of dinosaurs is also a time of slow, patient experimentation. Some species develop complex social behaviors, moving in herds, protecting young, or communicating in subtle ways. Others evolve camouflage, horns, frills, or armor for defense. The world is rich, diverse, and hypnotic, alive with the deliberate motion of creatures shaping and being shaped by their environment. Take another deep breath, dear friend, and let the grandeur of these creatures fill your mind. Imagine the immense size of a sauropod, the graceful movements of a hadrosaur, the stealth of a theropod, the subtle patterns of feathered species. Let yourself drift alongside them, carried by the hypnotic rhythm of their slow, deliberate existence. This era is a testament to endurance, adaptation, and balance. Dinosaurs dominate the land for millions of years, shaping ecosystems, experimenting with form, and preparing the stage for the rise of mammals, birds, and eventually humans. They remind us that grandeur can be patient, diversity can be deliberate, and survival is a slow, mesmerizing process of trial, adaptation, and persistence. Rest here, dear friend, in the warm sunlight of prehistoric forests and plains. Watch the dinosaurs move. Listen to the quiet rhythms of rivers and trees. Feel the pulse of life in slow, deliberate steps. Let the hypnotic flow of this ancient world carry you deeper into calm, relaxation, and wonder. Life is abundant, patient, inventive, and mesmerizing. The age of dinosaurs continues across millions of years, a hypnotic symphony of scale, adaptation, and slow, patient motion. Each creature, each step, each breath is part of Earth's enduring story, a story you are immersed in, carried by the rhythm of life itself. The rise of mammals. Welcome back, dear friend. The age of dinosaurs stretches across millions of years, a hypnotic ballet of immense creatures, towering forests, and slow, deliberate movement. Yet alongside this grandeur, in shadows and hidden corners, a quieter, subtler story unfolds. Small, nocturnal, furry creatures, early mammals, begin their patient journey. They are modest, unassuming, but resilient and inventive, ready to explore niches untouched by their massive contemporaries. Imagine a dense forest under the cover of twilight. The towering dinosaurs rest or move slowly across floodplains. Underbrush is thick with ferns and cycads. In the dim light, small creatures stir, tiny mammals, no bigger than modern mice or shrews. Their fur shimmers softly in the fading light. They scurry along branches, crawl through leaf litter, and explore crevices. Their movements are deliberate, careful, and hypnotic, guided by instinct, curiosity, and survival. Picture yourself shrinking and following them silently. Hear the faint rustle of leaves beneath tiny paws. Feel the soft brush of moss and soil under their delicate feet. Observe the subtle twitch of ears, the movement of whiskers, sensing vibrations in the air. Their eyes, adapted for low light, gleam softly, reflecting the fading sun. Life, patient and inventive, explores survival in miniature, in subtlety, in quiet, persistent ways. Early mammals are nocturnal, avoiding the dominance of dinosaurs. They hunt insects, small plants, and perhaps tiny invertebrates, moving with agility and stealth. Their sensory adaptations, keen smell, acute hearing, sensitive touch, allow them to navigate complex environments in darkness. Life has learned patience, ingenuity, and adaptability thriving in niches where giants cannot follow. Over time, mammals diversify. Some develop climbing abilities, gripping limbs, and tails for balance. Others dig, burrow, or swim, exploring habitats unnoticed by larger creatures. Their small size allows them to be versatile, responsive, and adaptive. Life quietly experiments with body plans, feeding strategies, and behaviors. Each generation learns, survives, and evolves in subtle, patient rhythms. Imagine drifting through a forest at night. The moon casts pale light across the ground. Tiny mammals move silently, navigating under ferns, across logs, and through leaf litter. Insects buzz faintly. The air is cool, filled with the soft scent of vegetation and soil. Every step is deliberate, every pause attentive, every movement part of a delicate, hypnotic rhythm. Mammals also begin to develop more sophisticated reproductive strategies. They nurture their young with care, feeding them milk, protecting them in burrows or nests. This quiet innovation ensures survival in a dangerous world dominated by giants. Life is learning not just to survive, but to care, to protect, to shape the next generation. These behaviors, subtle and patient, will echo through millions of years of evolution. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend, and imagine the soft rhythm of these early mammals. Feel the gentle movement of paws across leaves, the quiet stirrings of nests, the cautious exploration of every crevice. Let their persistence, adaptability, and patient innovation wash over you, filling your mind with calm fascination and gentle wonder. Mammals continue to explore niches in shadow and soil. They climb trees, hunt at night, burrow for safety, and feed on a variety of foods. Their small size allows them to survive environmental changes, to hide, to reproduce quietly and consistently. Life in miniature, patient and subtle, continues its quiet, hypnotic rhythm alongside the giants of the Mesozoic. Imagine a quiet dawn. The forest is still. Sunlight slowly filters through tall ferns. Dinosaurs stir or graze at a distance, and hidden beneath leaves, in burrows, or climbing trees, mammals continue their quiet existence. Their movements are deliberate, cautious, yet full of life. They carry within them the seeds of future diversity, the quiet promise of creatures that will one day walk, run, fly, and think across the earth. The rise of mammals teaches us that patience, resilience, and adaptability are profound tools in evolution. Though small and seemingly insignificant beside the giants, mammals survive, innovate, and endure. They quietly shape ecosystems, interact with plants and insects, and prepare for a time when they will rise to prominence. Life, patient and persistent, continues to unfold in layers, subtle and mesmerizing. Rest now, dear friend, among the ferns, trees, and quiet night. Imagine the gentle scurrying of mammals, their careful exploration of shadows and soil, the delicate rhythm of breath, movement, and survival. Life continues patiently, quietly, and inventively, preparing for transformations that will one day reshape the world. The age of mammals begins in the shadows of giants, a hypnotic story of resilience, adaptation, and patient progress. Each tiny paw step, each careful breath, Each subtle behavior carries forward the continuity of life, connecting the past, present, and future in a slow, mesmerizing rhythm. The extinction of the dinosaurs. Welcome back, dear friend. For millions of years, dinosaurs have dominated the earth. Vast forests and plains tremble under their enormous presence. Yet life, patient and inventive, always holds the possibility of transformation. And then, suddenly, quietly, but inevitably, the world changes. This is the extinction of the dinosaurs, a moment when the balance of life shifts, opening vast new opportunities for other creatures, mammals, birds, and ultimately humans. Imagine a warm, sunlit landscape. Dinosaurs roam forests, floodplains, and deserts. Rivers flow steadily. Volcanoes release gentle plumes. The earth seems eternal, unchanging. But hidden in time, a subtle and massive disruption approaches. Perhaps an asteroid, colliding with unimaginable force, sends clouds of dust and debris into the sky. Perhaps massive volcanic eruptions alter the climate slowly but persistently. The world begins to shift in ways that will forever change life. Picture yourself drifting above the forests, rivers, and plains. The dinosaurs move as usual, unaware of the subtle forces building. Suddenly, skies darken and sunlight dims. Temperatures fluctuate. Forests struggle under ash and changing weather. Rivers rise and fall unpredictably. Life, patient and enduring, begins to feel the pressure of transformation. The rhythm of the earth changes, slowly yet inevitably. The extinction event is both sudden and gradual. Some creatures perish immediately, others endure for years, struggling to survive in altered climates. With diminished food and water, the forests, once lush, grow sparse. Floodplains dry or flood unexpectedly. Mountains and valleys remain, but ecosystems shift, reorganize, and collapse in subtle, hypnotic patterns. Life is tested in ways it has never known. Imagine standing among the ruins of a forest. Dust settles on leaves. The air smells faintly of ash, minerals, and soil. The earth is quiet, punctuated by the soft rustle of surviving creatures, birds, small mammals, resilient plants. The giant dinosaurs, once dominant, vanish, leaving only traces in bones and impressions. Life feels fragile, yet persistent, moving slowly, deliberately, into new possibilities. The extinction of the dinosaurs is not the end, but a transformation. It is a quiet reminder of impermanence, of patience, of resilience. While some lineages vanish, others endure. Mammals, previously small and nocturnal, now explore niches left open by giants. Birds, descendants of small theropods, continue to adapt and diversify. Plants, forests, and insect adjust, reshaping ecosystems in subtle and mesmerizing ways. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Imagine the calm after the storm. The air is clearer. Light filters gently through recovering forests. Small mammals scurry across leaf litter. Birds sing softly in the branches. Rivers flow with quiet rhythm. The earth, though altered, remains alive, resilient, and patient. Life continues, adapting, experimenting, and enduring. This event, while catastrophic for some, is transformative for others. Mammals grow larger, explore more habitats, and diversify. Birds expand across skies. New ecological interactions emerge. Life, patient and inventive, embraces opportunity amidst disruption. The extinction of the dinosaurs becomes a stage for creativity, adaptability, and the slow, mesmerizing unfolding of new forms. Imagine wandering through a recovering forest. Sunlight warms moss and soil. Gentle breezes sway ferns. Tiny mammals explore fallen logs, scurry through leaf litter, and investigate burrows. Birds sing faintly from branches above. The earth feels quiet, yet vibrant, alive in subtle, hypnotic rhythms. Life is resilient, patient, inventive, and endlessly adaptable. Rest now, dear friend, in this transformed world. Feel the rhythm of recovery, the gentle pulse of small mammals, the soft sway of trees, the calm flow of rivers. Life has endured, shifted, and expanded into new possibilities. Every breath, every movement, every quiet moment is part of Earth's hypnotic story of resilience and patient transformation. The extinction of the dinosaurs is a lesson in impermanence and opportunity. Life endures, adapts, and transforms in ways both subtle and profound. Mammals rise, birds flourish, plants and insects diversify. The earth continues its slow, mesmerizing rhythm, carrying forward the legacy of survival, adaptation, and the hypnotic beauty of life's continuity. Rest here, dear friend, among recovering forests and soft rivers. Let the calm rhythm of life, patient adaptation, and subtle transformation carry you gently into relaxation, wonder, and quiet fascination. The earth is alive, resilient, and endlessly mesmerizing, and you are part of this slow, hypnotic story. The dominance of mammals. Welcome back, dear friend. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, the earth is transformed. Forests recover, rivers flow with steady rhythm, the air hums with possibility. Into this world, small, resilient mammals emerge from shadows and begin to explore new territories. Freed from the dominance of giants, they expand slowly, adapt wisely, and diversify in patient, hypnotic ways. This is the age of mammals, a quiet, mesmerizing rise across continents, forests, rivers, and plains. Imagine a sunlit landscape stretching endlessly. Trees sway gently in the breeze. Grass and ferns carpet the ground. Streams ripple softly. And across this peaceful world, mammals move. Some small and cautious, some larger and more daring. Their fur glistens in sunlight. Limbs, adapted for running, climbing, digging, or swimming, carry them through varied terrains. Life is mobile, inventive, and patient, exploring every niche with subtle grace. Picture yourself shrinking, dear friend, drifting alongside these creatures. A small rodent scurries through leaf litter, sensing vibrations with delicate whiskers. A primitive ungulate grazes quietly in a clearing, nibbling soft leaves. A predator stalks patiently, moving with slow precision, testing the rhythm of prey. Each movement is deliberate, each breath steady, each interaction part of a hypnotic dance of survival and adaptation. Mammals diversify in form and habit. Some take to trees, developing prehensile limbs, keen eyesight, and balance. Others roam open plains, running with speed, stamina, and coordination. Some burrow, creating intricate networks beneath the soil. Some adapt to water, swimming silently in rivers or lakes. Life experiments quietly but effectively, expanding possibilities across Earth's varied habitats. Imagine gliding silently above a forest at dusk. Tiny mammals explore branches, moving with delicate care. Their eyes reflect soft light. Their fur brushes against leaves. Insects buzz faintly, and the air is filled with subtle scents of earth, water, and vegetation. The rhythm of life is gentle, patient, and mesmerizing. Each creature participating in a slow, enduring story of adaptation and survival. Mammals also innovate in behavior and reproduction. They nurture their young with care, feed them, protect them, and guide them through early life. Social structures emerge, groups form, hierarchies develop, and communication evolves. Life is no longer just about survival. It becomes about interaction, cooperation, and persistence. Each small, deliberate behavior reinforces the resilience and adaptability of these creatures. Take a slow, deep breath. Dear friend, feel the rhythm of life, the soft scurrying of paws, the gentle sway of trees, the quiet flow of streams. Imagine following a small mammal as it navigates fallen logs, climbs moss-covered rocks, or hides beneath ferns. Let the patient persistence, cautious exploration, and inventive adaptation of mammals fill your mind with calm fascination. Over millions of years, mammals continue to diversify. Herbivores adapt to new plants, evolving specialized teeth and digestive systems. Carnivores refine hunting strategies and sensory abilities. Omnivores explore multiple food sources. Ecosystems become intricate networks of predator, prey, plant, and insect, all moving with a slow, hypnotic rhythm that stretches across continents and time. Imagine a vast plain at dawn. Herds of early mammals move with quiet purpose, grazing and exploring. Predators stalk edges, watching for movement. Birds and insects fill the air with subtle activity. Rivers wind through the landscape, reflecting soft light. Life is abundant, diverse, and patient, a hypnotic meditation of balance, adaptation, and continuity. Mammals also influence the earth itself. Grazing shapes plant growth. Burrowing aerates soil and redistributes nutrients. Predators regulate populations. Their movements shape ecosystems, and their presence creates opportunities for new forms of life. Life is interconnected, a continuous, patient, mesmerizing story unfolding across time. Rest now, dear friend, among forests, plains, and streams. Watch the mammals move. Feel the warmth of the sun, the coolness of water, the gentle sway of vegetation. Let the slow, deliberate rhythms of life carry you into calm relaxation. Life is inventive, resilient, patient, and endlessly mesmerizing, and you are immersed in its quiet, hypnotic pulse. The dominance of mammals continues for millions of years. They adapt, explore, and persist across continents, preparing for transformations that will shape the modern world. Each step, each breath, each subtle interaction carries forward the story of life, a patient, mesmerizing rhythm that stretches from the shadows of dinosaurs to the forests and plains of today. The rise of primates. Welcome back, dear friend. The dominance of mammals has reshaped the earth. Forests thrive, plains stretch endlessly, and rivers flow with steady rhythm. Life has diversified, ecosystems have matured, and small inventive creatures roam every corner. Yet within this tapestry, a quiet transformation begins. Among mammals, a lineage emerges that will explore intelligence, social behavior, and dexterity in ways never seen before. These are the primates, patient explorers of trees, society, and cognition. Imagine a dense, warm forest. Sunlight filters softly through leafy canopies. Ferns, mosses, and flowering plants create a multi-layered world. Tiny mammals move along branches and forest floors, climbing, jumping, and foraging. Among them, early primates develop grasping hands, opposable thumbs, and sensitive fingertips. Their eyes, positioned forward, perceive depth and movement with precision. Life has begun a patient experiment in intelligence and adaptation. Picture yourself drifting alongside them. Hear the soft rustle of leaves as primates navigate branches. Feel the gentle sway of trees under their weight. Observe the careful movement of hands reaching for fruits, insects, or twigs. Eyes scan surroundings with curiosity and caution. Their movements are deliberate, calculated, and mesmerizing, a hypnotic display of life, learning to interact with its environment in increasingly sophisticated ways. Primates develop intricate social behaviors. They move in small groups, communicate with subtle gestures, and protect one another. Relationships form, bonds strengthen, and hierarchies emerge. Cooperation becomes as important as individual survival. Life is no longer only about movement, feeding, and reproduction. It is also about interaction, observation, and learning. Imagine a warm morning in a forest. A small group of primates gathers in the canopy. Mothers care for young, grooming fur gently. Elders guide movements. Siblings play, testing strength and coordination. Every action carries subtle lessons: how to climb, forage, and communicate. Life is patient, deliberate, and mesmerizing, teaching adaptation and resilience through observation and practice. Primates also begin to develop larger brains relative to body size. Problem solving, memory, and learning become vital. Hands explore objects, manipulate tools, and interact with the environment. Eyes follow movement, assess danger, and recognize patterns. Life experiments with intelligence slowly and subtly in ways that will echo for millions of years. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Imagine the gentle rhythm of a primate group moving through the forest canopy. Feel the sway of branches, the soft brush of leaves, the delicate touch of hands and feet. Hear quiet vocalizations, the rustle of movement, the soft wind through foliage. Let the patience, observation, and adaptability of primates fill your mind with calm fascination and gentle wonder. Over time, primates diversify. Some remain arboreal, perfecting climbing and swinging. Others explore the forest floor, developing strength and dexterity For terrestrial life, social structures become increasingly complex, with communication, cooperation, and learning guiding survival. Each generation learns, adapts, and thrives in subtle, patient rhythms. Imagine drifting at twilight. Shadows lengthen, primates move among branches and vines, exploring, resting, grooming. Insects buzz faintly, leaves sway gently, streams reflect the fading light. Life is abundant, dynamic, yet slow and hypnotic in its unfolding. The forest hums with patient intelligence, subtle adaptation, and enduring resilience. The rise of primates is a testament to patience, observation, and innovation. Small actions, climbing, grasping, social interaction, lay the foundation for remarkable developments. The ability to manipulate objects, communicate, and learn from experience creates possibilities for future evolution, preparing the stage for larger brains, greater intelligence, and ultimately, humanity. Rest now, dear friend, among the forest canopy. Watch the gentle movements of primates. Listen to faint calls. Feel the soft sway of branches. Let the quiet rhythm of observation, adaptation, and social connection lull you into deep, calm, mesmerizing relaxation. Life is patient, inventive, and endlessly fascinating, carrying forward the continuity of Earth's story. The rise of primates continues across millions of years. Each generation learns, observes, and adapts. Each movement, breath, and interaction shapes the future of intelligence and society. Life is patient, persistent, and hypnotic, a continuous unfolding of possibility, curiosity, and resilience. The emergence of early humans. Welcome back, dear friend. From the patient rise of primates, a subtle yet extraordinary transformation unfolds. Among the branches of forests, across savannas, and along rivers, some primates begin a journey unlike any before. These are the early humans, creatures of curiosity, dexterity, and growing awareness. Their story is slow, deliberate, and mesmerizing, a quiet unfolding of intelligence and adaptation that will one day shape the world. Imagine a warm, sunlit landscape of forests opening into grasslands. Rivers wind slowly, reflecting golden light. Trees sway gently in the breeze, and small mammals move quietly among ferns and shrubs. Among them, early humans, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and other ancestors, explore their surroundings with attentive eyes, dexterous hands, and keen minds. Every movement, every touch, every observation is a patient experiment in survival and innovation. Picture yourself shrinking and walking beside them. Feel the texture of soil beneath bare feet. Notice the careful grasp of objects, stones, sticks, and plants. Observe the delicate coordination of hands as early humans manipulate tools. Sharp rocks chipped for cutting, sticks used for digging, bones repurposed for scraping or pounding. Life is no longer only about instinct and survival. It is about creativity, problem solving, and learning. Early humans develop social structures of remarkable subtlety. They move in small groups, cooperate to find food, protect one another, and share knowledge, communication becomes more complex. Gestures, sounds, and expressions carry meaning, transmitting information, emotions, and strategy. Every interaction strengthens survival, learning, and the bonds that make their communities resilient. Imagine a quiet evening. The sun dips behind distant hills. Early humans gather near a river, sharing discoveries, tending small fires, and observing the world around them. Children mimic adults, learning through observation and practice. Adults teach, guide, and protect, fostering skill, understanding, and adaptation. The rhythm of life is patient, slow, and hypnotic, filled with subtle learning and exploration. Early humans also experiment with diet and environment. They hunt small animals, gather plants, roots, and fruits, and gradually expand into varied habitats. They notice patterns, where water flows, where animals hide, which plants are nutritious. Memory, observation, and planning become crucial. Life is evolving not only physically, but cognitively, expanding the horizons of possibility. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Feel the gentle pulse of early human life, the soft rustle of movement, the quiet tapping of stones, the careful gestures of hands shaping tools. Let their curiosity, patience, and growing awareness flow through your mind, lulling you into a deep, mesmerizing calm. Over time, early humans develop increasingly sophisticated tools, controlling fire, shaping stone, and modifying their environment subtly. They leave traces of thought in patterns on rocks, in the placement of objects, and in the creation of shelter. Life is no longer purely reactive. It is anticipatory, inventive, and profoundly patient. Imagine dawn breaking over a river valley. Light glimmers across gentle waters. Early humans move through tall grasses, observing, experimenting, and learning. The air is filled with quiet sounds, flowing water, bird calls, rustling leaves, and the soft footsteps of humans exploring. Life continues patiently, inventively, in a rhythm that is mesmerizing and hypnotic. The emergence of early humans is a testament to curiosity, cooperation, and invention. Each gesture, each observation, each subtle adaptation is part of a slow, deliberate experiment in survival, cognition, and social life. These early Homo species carry within them the potential for language, culture, technology, and imagination, a hypnotic unfolding of possibility across generations. Rest now, dear friend, in the quiet presence of early humans. Watch them move, explore, and interact. Hear the faint sound of water, the rustle of grass, and the whisper of wind through trees. Let the calm rhythm of patient observation, learning, and subtle innovation lull you into relaxation, wonder, and gentle fascination. Life is carrying forward, resilient, inventive, and mesmerizing. The emergence of early humans marks a slow, hypnotic crescendo in the story of Earth, connecting the patient evolution of mammals, primates, and intelligence to the profound transformations yet to come. Each small step, each careful breath, each quiet moment of learning is part of a continuum that stretches across time. The development of culture and civilization. Welcome back, dear friend. From the careful steps of early humans, life on Earth takes another profound turn. Over millennia, humans develop the capacity to communicate, create, and organize. Language begins to emerge, a gentle, flowing rhythm of sounds, gestures, and expressions. These early forms of communication allow ideas, stories, and knowledge to pass from one individual to another, slowly weaving the fabric of culture. Imagine a quiet evening in a prehistoric settlement. The sky glows with the fading sun. A small group of humans gathers around a fire, its gentle warmth and flickering light casting shadows on rock walls. The air smells faintly of smoke, earth, and cooked food. Words are soft, gestures subtle, but within them, knowledge is shared. Where to find food, how to track animals, how to craft tools. Culture begins as a patient, hypnotic rhythm of learning and exchange. Picture yourself shrinking and sitting among them. Hear the gentle sounds of speech, laughter, and quiet instruction. Observe the careful shaping of stone tools, the methodical construction of shelters from wood, leaves, and clay. Witness the first artistic expressions, patterns etched into stone, pigments applied to walls, rhythmic movements of dance around the fire. Life is no longer only about survival. It is about meaning, creativity, and connection. Over generations, humans learn to manipulate their environment with increasing sophistication. They clear land for settlements, domesticate plants and animals, and develop new technologies. Tools evolve from simple stone implements to polished blades, spears, and woven baskets. Fire is harnessed, not just for warmth, but for cooking, protection, and social bonding. Each innovation is a patient experiment, passed through observation, teaching, and repetition. Imagine walking through an early village at dawn. Smoke rises softly from fires. Humans gather water, tend animals, and prepare food. Children observe and imitate, learning through touch, observation, and instruction. Elders guide with patience and wisdom. Life is a slow, hypnotic rhythm of practice, adaptation, and continuity. The human mind expands in parallel with the world it inhabits. Each discovery, building upon the last, language becomes increasingly complex. Stories are told around fires, songs echo through forests, and patterns of sound carry information across space and generations. Culture emerges not as a sudden event, but as a patient accumulation of knowledge, art, ritual, and social connection. Humans begin to understand the passage of time, the cycles of seasons, the movements of stars. Life becomes reflective, imaginative, and deeply interconnected. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Feel the quiet pulse of early human life, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle warmth of firelight, the subtle cadence of words, gestures, and laughter. Let the patient rhythm of learning, teaching, and creation fill your mind with calm fascination and gentle wonder. As humans settle, they develop agriculture, cultivating grains, fruits, and vegetables. Domestication of animals provides consistent sources of food and labor. Villages expand, forming networks of interaction, trade, and shared knowledge. Life moves in a slow, mesmerizing rhythm, with each discovery building upon previous generations. Civilization emerges gradually, like a river carving valleys over millennia. Art, religion, and ritual begin to shape communities. Humans express beliefs, fears, and hopes through symbolic gestures, paintings, sculptures, and songs. These expressions are subtle yet profound, linking individuals to their communities and to the world around them. Life is no longer only about survival, it is about reflection, identity, and continuity. Imagine a quiet evening in a developing settlement. Children practice drawing shapes in clay. Elders carve symbols into wood. Firelight flickers against stone walls. Conversations ripple through the air in gentle cadences. Life flows slowly, patiently, creatively, in a hypnotic rhythm that stretches across generations and landscapes. Trade and communication expand. Humans learn to share knowledge across distances, exchanging tools, techniques, and ideas. Networks of communities emerge, creating the first tentative structures of society. Social cooperation strengthens survival, allowing humans to thrive in environments once thought challenging or hostile. Each interaction, each innovation, each teaching moment is a patient, deliberate step toward civilization. Take another slow, deep breath, dear friend. Imagine the warmth of fire, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle murmur of conversation, the careful shaping of tools and art. Let the hypnotic rhythm of early culture, learning, and social bonding wash over you, carrying you into calm, reflective relaxation. Life is patient, inventive, and mesmerizing, weaving together the threads of survival, knowledge, and creativity. The development of culture and civilization is a testament to patience, observation, and collaboration. Humans transform their environment, communicate across generations, create art and ritual, and experiment with social structures. Each discovery, each pattern of interaction, each small innovation contributes to the slow, hypnotic unfolding of human potential. Rest now, dear friend, in this early human world. Watch, listen, and feel the steady, patient rhythm of life as humans build, learn, and connect. Let the gentle flow of culture, knowledge, and creativity carry you into deep calm and mesmerizing relaxation. The earth is alive, resilient, and endlessly inventive, and you are immersed in its patient, hypnotic story. Modern humans and the shaping of the world, welcome back, dear friend. From the patient rise of early humans and the slow unfolding of culture, the story of life reaches a new rhythm. Homo sapiens emerge, curious, inventive, and adaptable. They spread across continents, explore every corner of the earth, and transform landscapes, ecosystems, and societies in ways both subtle and grand. This is the age of modern humans, a slow, mesmerizing dance of intelligence, creativity, and resilience. Imagine a world stretching across mountains, rivers, forests, and plains. Humans move with purpose, yet with careful observation. They cross deserts, navigate rivers, and climb hills, exploring new habitats with ingenuity. Each step is deliberate, each discovery carefully noted and shared. Life, patient and inventive, experiments with thought, technology, and social organization, shaping the earth in slow, hypnotic rhythms. Picture yourself walking silently among early modern humans. Feel the texture of soil beneath feet, the cool breeze on skin, and the gentle warmth of sunlight. Observe hands shaping tools, crafting shelters, and creating art. Listen to voices sharing knowledge, stories, and guidance. Life has become reflective, inventive, and mesmerizing, a patient interplay of curiosity, creativity, and survival. Humans develop agriculture on a large scale, planting grains, fruits, and vegetables. Domestication of animals provides food, labor, and companionship. Villages grow into towns, towns into cities, and societies expand with complex networks of trade, governance, and culture. Life moves in slow, deliberate layers, each innovation building upon the last, each generation learning, adapting, and experimenting. Imagine a quiet village. At dawn, smoke rises gently from hearths. People gather water, tend animals, and prepare food. Children observe and imitate, learning through touch and practice. Elders teach skills, stories, and wisdom. The rhythm of life is patient, steady, and mesmerizing, a hypnotic flow of human adaptation and creativity. Humans also shape their environment. Forests are cleared, fields cultivated, rivers navigated, and mountains mined. Tools and technology evolve from simple implements to advanced machinery, from fire to electricity, from communication through speech to writing, printing, and digital signals. Life is no longer only about survival, it is about shaping the world with intention, foresight, and imagination. Take a slow, deep breath, dear friend. Feel the gentle pulse of human life, the soft footsteps on earth, the rustle of leaves, the crackle of fire, the calm murmur of conversation. Let the rhythm of invention, cooperation, and exploration wash over you, filling your mind with calm fascination and gentle wonder. Over millennia, humans create art, music, literature, and science. They observe the stars, study plants and animals, and understand the patterns of nature. Knowledge accumulates, shared across generations, slowly transforming society. Life becomes a hypnotic tapestry of curiosity, reflection, and discovery, stretching across the globe in intricate, patient patterns. Imagine cities rising quietly in your mind. Streets hum softly with movement. People craft tools, write stories, share knowledge. Rivers flow through settlements. Forests grow nearby. The air carries subtle scents of earth, wood, and water. Life is abundant, interconnected, and mesmerizing, moving with the slow, deliberate rhythm of human exploration and adaptation. Humans also face challenges: climate shifts, natural disasters, scarcity, and conflict. Yet life is resilient. Each obstacle becomes a subtle lesson, each problem an opportunity for creativity, adaptation, and collaboration. The earth continues its patient rhythm, and humans, attentive and inventive, move with it, shaping and being shaped by their surroundings. Rest now, dear friend, in this vast, intricate human world. Watch the gentle flow of daily life, the careful construction of tools and shelters, the quiet exchange of knowledge, the subtle rhythms of adaptation. Let the hypnotic pulse of human creativity, exploration, and resilience carry you into calm, mesmerizing relaxation. Modern humans connect the ancient rhythms of life, from the first amphibians to reptiles, mammals, primates, and early humans, to the present moment. Every breath, every step, every subtle innovation continues a patient, mesmerizing story that stretches across billions of years. Now, with a smile on your face, you will have a good understanding of the entire history of Earth, from its formation to the rise of modern humans, and you can drift into a deep, peaceful sleep. Goodbye, dear friend. See you next time. And now, dear friend, we come to the quiet close of our journey. From the first particles of dust and gas that formed our planet, to oceans and continents, to forests, rivers, and the grand dance of life, you have traveled across billions of years. You have drifted alongside tiny cells, massive dinosaurs, patient mammals, and the first humans learning to shape their world. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the soft rhythm of earth beneath your mind, the gentle pulse of life that has persisted for eons. Imagine the warm sunlight on ancient forests, the soothing flow of rivers, the soft rustle of leaves, and the quiet presence of creatures, large and small, moving patiently across the landscapes of time. Let this rhythm wash over you, steady, calm, and mesmerizing. Every moment you have experienced in this journey reminds you that life is patient, inventive, and endlessly resilient. From the smallest microbe to the vast continents, from the first spark of consciousness to the creative, reflective humans shaping the world today, life continues its gentle, hypnotic pulse. You are part of this story, carried along in its soothing, slow rhythm. Now, dear friend, with a smile on your face, you will rest in the calm, knowing the full story of Earth. Let the steady flow of life, time, and memory guide you into deep, peaceful sleep. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and drift as the Earth itself continues its quiet, hypnotic journey around the sun. Goodbye, dear friend. See you next time.